All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Sauder Alumni Center for the second time in a couple of weeks here for a very special day again in Emporia State Athletics history. My name's Don Wiest. I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Media Relations here at Emporia State. Here's kind of the way things will go today. In a moment, I'm going to introduce our Director of Athletics, Kent Weiser. Kent will say a couple of words. Then Kent will formally introduce our new basketball coach, Craig Doty, and then Craig will say some comments from the podium, followed by questions from the audience. We would ask that if you have a question in the audience, please identify yourself and what kind of an affiliation you have to help Coach Doty kind of make a name with a face during that time. Also, if you have any your cell phones, any other electronic devices, if you could please silence those, turn those off at this time, that'd be great. And at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Director of Athletics at Emporia State, Mr. Kent Weiser.
Thank you all for being here today. I've kind of had one of those deja vu moments where I've lived this before. Maybe it's just me. I'm really happy though to say that the search for a new men's basketball coach at Emporia State has been completed. Once again, there was interest from scores of qualified candidates, and I appreciate their interest very much. Also, just could not have done this with any sort of efficiency without our office manager, Jennifer Collins, Associate Athletics Director, Don Wiest, and Deputy Director of Athletics, Christy Byer. Our new head coach has experienced great success on and off the court throughout his very young career. He will bring a very positive can-do attitude to our basketball program, along with very high expectations. I'm especially pleased today that his wife Alexis and his son Braylon are here to join and celebrate with us. It's my pleasure to introduce the new head coach of Emporia State men's basketball, Craig Doty.
How you guys doing? Good. Wow, what an exciting time for myself, what an exciting time for Emporia State Athletics, for my family. Just, you know, this opportunity to come and coach in the MIAA, the Division II level, where I was born and raised. My young eyes was born and raised in South Dakota, watching University of South Dakota and Augustana and Mankato and SDSU. Everybody was Division II back then. And being around this level of basketball, I absolutely fell in love with it. And I'm a firm believer in Division II athletics and what it can do for the student athletes. I think it's the most pure form of basketball at the college level that continues in this country. And you guys all see what high level play is night in and night out. And we look forward to matching that and building this program to national recognition. I want to thank a few people. President Allison Garrett, who I got to meet this morning. What an outstanding gal. Is just very professional, very excited to be working under her tutelage. Kent Weiser, the search that you guys ran, I felt comfortable the entire time with Kent and with Christy and with Don, consummate professionals who understand college athletics, understands what it takes to win, and they've made myself and my family feel welcome and comfortable from the first time we talked. Additionally, I want to thank Steve Sauder, who was gracious enough to open his house up. Turns out there's a couple thousand people that play Frisbee golf that's in town right now, so all the hotels were booked out. So I got to stay with Mr. Sauder. It was an outstanding evening. He even watched my son this morning and took him over there, and just, this is what Emporia is all about. You can feel it, the family environment. And you walk around campus and you see friendly faces smiling, and you see a culture that you want to be a part of. And it's really an exciting time to be here, and I'm looking forward to providing a shot in the arm for the men's basketball program, you know, to match the excitement of the other programs, of women's basketball, of football, of all the great programs that are here at Emporia State right now. I also want to thank Graceland University, where we just are coming off a national championship in Municipal Auditorium just over a month ago in front of a record crowd, 6,377 people. It was such a special time there. The administration was very, very kind in this transition, and we're happy that we can have such a great relationship, and I'm happy for what they've been able to afford me as an opportunity to afford my family. I want my wife and my son, Alexis and Braylon, to stand, please. When you win national titles and you compete at the college level, and I've been fortunate enough to win one as a coach in 2014 and 2016 and in 2018. And while your point guard is oftentimes your key player on the floor and your big man is commanding the boards, it's the coaches' wives that deserve to have a ton of credit, as well as their entire family, including my son Braylon, as they share me with the program, and it will continue to happen. She's a rock. She's outstanding. You can see that she's carrying my little one right now, due on August 4th. So we're really excited to be coming into this community and expanding our family and growing with you. So. With that being said, I just got a chance to speak with our student athletes in the men's basketball program for the first time, about 15 minutes ago. And what outstanding young men in terms of character, in terms of how they represent themselves, and how they know how to look somebody in the eye and do all these little things that we're going to be able to grow together. And we didn't talk much basketball in there, because at this point that's not the most important thing. The important thing is to build this up from the ground up with the right kids, and we have them right here in the program. We look forward to getting to know you guys over the coming days and weeks, and it's going to be a real special journey. So. And with that, I'd love to open up for questions that anybody may have.
Coach Stephen Coleman with the Emporia Gazette. Welcome to Emporia. What kind of drew your eye when the opening hit? Were you automatically kind of looking to move up after you hit a national championship? That's often times where a guy kind of starts looking around and seeing what's available. Sure.
We had a ton of success in a short period of time at Graceland, and we were prepared to stay at Graceland for an extended period of time. And when Emporia came knocking, and there was an opportunity here. When you're raised around Division II basketball, when it's a dream of yours, when you're working with a fully funded scholarship roster and an opportunity to compete in the NAIA, it's an absolute no-brainer. To look and consider the position. And then you get to know Kent, you get to know Don, you get to know Christy, and you realize that this is exactly what you think it is. This is a great opportunity that's going to put you in a position to lead young men at a high level in a great league, and in a culture that's established throughout the athletic department and the institution that I thrive in, that I can relate with, and that I parallel my programs around.
Coach, Greg with KDOE. Again, welcome to Emporia State. What's your formula, what's your philosophy in developing a winning program?
Sure, everybody talks about culture. It's the buzzword in basketball. It's the buzzword in college athletics right now. But what is culture? People always want to talk about it. So I'm going to say what my culture is. And my culture is to create an environment that the members of my program care about each other. I'm not afraid to use the L word, to love each other. In that we will go to battle every single day. It has nothing to do with game day. Game day is just a hand-to-barn culmination of all the work that you're doing in advance. It's building around the right kids. It's building around individuals that want to succeed, but it's not just on the basketball court. When I talked to them back there, I asked them all what they wanted to do when basketball is done, and how can I help you get to that point. One of the gentlemen in our program wants to be in SWAT and be in police force, and Bob Kuehl, the deputy police chief of the Kansas City Police Department, is a good friend of mine. Well, we need to get him an internship set up so we can help him progress his life. And this is the big picture. Basketball is just a vehicle to get these guys to where they want to go. Now, it's a beautiful vehicle. It's a sport that we all love, but we're going to utilize it the right way. I don't want anybody in the program that's just looking at basketball as a way to play in front of people and then just go overseas and try to play. That can be a good goal. We can do those things, but we're going to get degrees along the way. We're going to build the culture in a championship way, and all of that will trickle down. So when you're in the last 10 minutes of a basketball game in the NAIA, you've developed a culture that has discipline, that has consistency, and you're more than likely to pull through in those situations, as opposed to if you're operating without those things.
Another question: what style of basketball might our fans be able to see this upcoming?
Sure. So we like to run a ton of sets. I had 40 sets last year, 40-man sets, a lot of NBA-style quick hitters. There'll be a lot in. We'll want to push the ball in primary transition first. And if we don't have action, we'll go back and we'll run something. I certainly don't want to put my guys in a box. I got to see what we're working with in terms of guys who can take over games and but ultimately we're structured, we're disciplined, and you can expect to see that on both ends of the floor.
Coach, you also spoken about his familiarity with the NAIA, and how much did that even draw you in a little bit more? Just the fact that you guys, you're up there on the border of the NAIA, you've probably seen Northwest and Truman, which is
Sure.
recently in the conference.
Sure. So I mean, we're close to Maryville, and we're close to St. Joseph, where Missouri Western is. Very familiar with the conference. Again, I coached at the University of Sioux Falls for a cup of coffee, and then I got offered the head job at Rock Valley College, and I ended up leaving to go be a head coach. But again, with my affinity for NCAA Division II basketball and just following the MIAA for so many years, again, for me, it's a no-brainer to come to a place like Emporia State and compete at this level.
Jonathan Deutsch with WIBW. What do you know about the guys on this team and this roster and their kind of style of play from last year? How do you use that moving forward?
Sure. When we have access to Synergy Sports Technology, so I can watch game film and I can check it out. I want you to understand I was hired Wednesday morning at 8:57 a.m. Okay, so there hasn't been a ton of time for roster eval. I do certainly. I know Brandon can fill it up. Okay. I also know that the shooting percentage that Emporia shot last year versus their field goal defense wasn't where it needs to be to win games. And so I can't run a full evaluation on the roster until I get a chance to spend some time with them, which we're going to be doing here over the coming days and weeks. And we got to get it in quick as finals are coming up here before we know it. But we have a little bit of a vision on what we want to do, and we're gonna let these guys really prove and show me and my staff where they're at, and then we're going to recruit around the needs of the program based on what we see and what we've studied on film and what we feel is best moving forward.
Two more questions if we have them. Anyone? All right, that being said, what we're going to do here right now, Coach Doty's going to go back. He's going to do a quick live interview with Greg on radio. Then we'll send Coach Doty back to the backdrops there, and then we'll have a couple players available too for people. I want to, again, thank everybody for coming out again and appreciate it. Let's get ready for next fall. We go up to Allen Fieldhouse to open this thing up. Thank you.
All right, you mentioned this felt like deja vu. You did this 2 weeks ago. What has this process been like for you?
Well, it's really as exciting and seamless as the previous one. Lots of interest in the job, and I had great help from Don Wiest and Christy Byer going through 157 candidates. But it's exciting when you see the possibilities, and I think Coach Doty brings that positive attitude and success. So. It all went really well.
157 candidates. What made him stand out above the rest?
Local recruiting, probably, or local in the Midwest. Both at Rock Valley and at Graceland. He knows all the coaches. He has been around that, recruited that area. Obviously, his level of success at both places, and just his management of the game. We had a chance, thanks to Don, we get a chance to watch film, and I've talked with officials of their league and just how he conducts himself and his leadership. All three of them were just very impressive, and he's just an impressive guy. I think he will get people to follow him and believe in him, so very excited to have Craig.
When did you know you had the right guy?
Oh, we did several phone interviews and in-person interviews, and to say that the choice was easy would be disingenuous. There were some really quality people, and as we spend time in the car, the three of us, and we kind of throw things back and forth, and you can just envision how it will be. And in all the three guys that we talked to in person and the 5 more on the phone, you could envision all of them being successful. But at the end of the day, that's just what I felt was that this is who I can work with. This is who will work with the rest of our coaches and staff and student athletes. He's be an agent of change, but also has such great moral compass and the grounding of being a good person and leading a good program. So I couldn't tell you exactly when, but he was always the one that rose to the top.
Were you at all surprised by the volume of applicants just based on the recent success?
Not really. No, I know our league, you know, is very competitive. People know our league is very competitive, and I think they saw, you know, Coach Vandiver, our place, you know, through a lack of wins last season maybe, but the program is in good shape. We have got good players and good guys, and I think it's just that changing that expectation level that going in, this is what we can do and this is what we will do. So I think a lot of coaches knew that this would be a good job in this great league.
After 2 coaching searches in the last month, do you get a vacation now?
We'd have to ask the president. I'd like it if you talk to the president about that. Why don't you recommend that to her? But
You're going to go to the softball regional then?
yeah, I've got other teams that are still competing, so we'll get to after the 1st of June. We'll have a chance to catch our breath.
Impression of Coach when he talked to you guys a little bit ago?
I just loved how he didn't make it about basketball. I loved how he made it personal, what we wanted to do life after basketball. I could tell that he's a very caring coach, and I love his philosophy. I love what he stands for. I've seen his resume. He's a very successful young coach, and I'm looking forward to building a relationship with him.
How difficult is it to try to get acclimated with someone coming into a program that you guys have already known each other for a couple of years and played one way and now having to maybe switch it up?
For me, it's difficult because I've been here for 4 years. I've been one coach, but I'm a person that embraces change, and I'm ready to take on this new journey, this new chapter in my life, and I can't wait to see what Coach Doty has in store for us.
Did he say anything about his kind of his style of play when you guys were meeting with him?
Yeah, he actually set it up there too. He says he runs 40 sets, quick hitters. We're gonna push the ball. If we don't have nothing, we'll bring it out. But as time lengthens together, we'll figure it out.
Sound like a kind of style you want to play though?
It sounds good to me. It's professional, and one day I hope to be a professional basketball player. So I'm interested to see how it is.
How have the past couple of weeks been like for the entire team, from when you found out Coach Vandiver was going to be taken off to today?
Well, when Coach B first told me, it was tough. I can't stand up here and lie to you and tell you I didn't shed a couple tears because he's helped me grow. He's helped me become the man that I am today, on and off the court. So it was tough, but after a while, you just got to keep moving. Life goes on, ups and downs, and you just got to keep pushing through, and that's what I've been doing lately. And I just want to be a leader for the team and keep them in a positive mindset as well.
And what's been the general reception from all the guys on the team so far here? I know you just met Coach today, but
you know, since the news was broke that Coach V wasn't going to be here, we just stuck together. Came in as one, continue to work hard, and the message every day is continue to get better so we can strive for the goal that we all have in mind.
You think you're still going to be the go-to guy for half-court shots come next season?
And if it comes down to it in 3 seconds, I hope that he has the same faith that Coach V had.
What have the last 2.5 days been like for you?
Well, to say crazy probably wouldn't do it justice. You know, I woke up on Wednesday morning, got a phone call in my dreams, and you know, had to give some news to Graceland. That was a little disappointing. That, you know, it's just tough to do, but this is the industry that I chose, and this is the dream that you have to move to. And when you get an opportunity to come to a place such as Emporia State to lead the men's basketball program in an institution, in a program right now that I just think needs a shot of life, that's a sleeping giant, I think it's nothing but an outstanding opportunity. So yeah, the emotions the past few days have certainly been mixed, but you know, there's a smile on my face and on my family's face for a reason. It's because we're incredibly excited.
Coach, what is it about this city that attracted you to want to come live in Emporia?
Well, I mean, it's a college town. You know, I just got done coaching at Graceland, where it's 2,300 people in an Amish community, and we were able to recruit and attract fine young student athletes because of the culture of the institution, and it was really special. I think we have all of that here, plus more population, more student body, and in an environment that people want to go to. So not only is it a great place for me to raise my kids and for our family to expand, but it's also a chance to bring in high-level student athletes where they're going to have an outstanding experience at the Division II level, and we're going to ultimately, hopefully, compete at the national level.
What does it take to build the guys up over the next year or 2 years or 3 years to get to that point where you want to go?
You know, we ultimately have to see where the program's at right now with the talent and ability, and over the coming weeks, we're going to be able to do just that. And then we have to couple those with some, bringing in some big-time recruits to match the current strengths of the program and to to alleviate the weaknesses of it. So we look forward to filling that roster in with talent, and also just ultimately building a culture that's sustainable, and that's one that's surrounded with community, discipline, and love.
You said you've known about the MIAA for a long time. What did you know about Emporia State before you even started this interview process?
Yeah, well, Emporia State, I've known Sean since 2011, I believe it was, when I was at Central Wyoming College, and he was at Boise State at the time, and they were recruiting some of our guys. So I got a chance to get to know Sean, and he's a great guy. And I followed his career here, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for him. But that ultimately, when you're a Division II guy in terms of a fan, as a guy who coached Division II, at least for a short stint at the University of Sioux Falls and grew up around it, you can name any Division II school in the country and I'm going to know who it is. Emporia State is certainly a job that everybody feels is one that you can succeed at despite the challenge of the MIAA. The resources are here to succeed in the league, and I look forward to working with our guys to getting us to a level that we know it can be at.
What's it like with the MIAA and the competition that it plays, and plus in the non-con you guys get to go against some of those D1 schools like KU and K-State, so how excited are you for getting those challenges as well?
Absolutely. Anytime you get a start to your coaching career at Emporia State, you're playing an exhibition at Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas, it's going to be a big-time challenge. Ultimately, it's just a testing stick for you. The game doesn't mean a ton. It's an exhibition for a reason, but it's an experience for the student athletes. It's an opportunity to see where your team stands before you start non-conference play. Non-conference schedule is already set for next year, so we have what we have, but it's going to be challenging enough to get us prepared for the MIAA schedule.
Do you feel like just the fact that you're from the region in general, that you've coached in this general area, that will ease the transition a little bit, already being vaguely familiar with some of what you're up against and some of the players, even in the recruiting standpoint?
Absolutely. From the junior college coaches in the Jayhawk Conference, we have so many talented student athletes that are recruitable, to the high school coaches in the Metro Kansas City area, and it's tapping into recruiting resources and established relationships that I have all throughout the Central Time Zone, throughout the Midwest and the Chicagoland region, etc. These are all areas where we're going to be able to resource, utilize, and maximize here at Emporia State. So I certainly feel it's an advantage to me, and that's what makes the job attractive, as opposed to going to a region where you wouldn't have those established connections, where people would be naturally attracted to come to the center of Kansas and play. But my recruiting base and my experience and connections will allow Emporia to be an attractive destination for those student athletes.
You mentioned your style with 40 different sets and all that. How difficult is it to learn your style of play, especially for these guys who've been playing a different way for a while?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it just comes down to each player. Oftentimes, if an individual is struggling to comprehend sets and actions and defenses, you just have to simplify the game for them. And I think I'm just an okay coach, but I'm great at simplifying things, and I'm great connecting with guys. And because of those reasons, we can put players into positions where they're going to be in strength spots and they're going to succeed at their maximum level. With that being said, if a student athlete is struggling to comprehend, we're not going to have him play both the shooting guard and the small forward spot. He's just going to get to know one spot, because you've got to know two different actions and all the counters off of it. So we'll simplify it to a point where our student athletes will be able to maximize themselves.